Well, welcome to our AAPI Heritage Month workshop. We're here so happy to be in Sara Parthasarathy's kitchen to learn about her business Flavor Temptations and she's going to do a cooking demo for us of some delicious dishes, you all. So thank you, Sara, for inviting us into your home.
Oh, thanks for having me, Sarah.
Yes.
It's so good to see you again. Yeah.
You too. And
Yeah.
just for people out here who aren't familiar with you and your business, would you like to start us off just sharing some of your story?
Yeah, sure. So I help people make Indian food from scratch. So you can actually cook authentically and you can make it easily. So if you are aware of Indian dishes or you're eaten in any Indian restaurant, you would realize, or you looked at any Indian recipe, you would have seen that there are tons of spices that go into it, and it's not like you need a lot of spices too. So it's like 1 teaspoon of that, 1.5 teaspoon of that, a dash of this, a pinch of that, and it's like by the time you go to the grocery store and you try to buy everything, you end up with 200 grams or 2 ounces of each spice, and all you need is maybe a teaspoon or a half teaspoon. So what we decided to do is we actually started off helping our son out because he wanted to, cook Indian food. And what I did at that time is I just gave him what I call a masala box, like a spice box, which contains all the spices. I'll just show that to you in a So minute. This is a spice box that I gave him, and it contains all the spices that we use daily. So this is like cumin and black mustard seeds. These get toasted initially. Then we have cayenne pepper, turmeric pepper. I have a coriander powder, cumin powder. You see, they almost look similar, right? And then I have some lentil seeds, which go into some garnishing. So this is typical for any Indian kitchen. You will see something like this, a spice box like this, which is handy. And you have a little teaspoon, and then we sort of use the same teaspoon in order to like put how much ever we want. So I told him, I said, hey, just put a little bit of each, and I use my hands and throw things in. And he used his big hands and he threw so much of the spices in that he came home. He think, Mom, it's not coming out well. It's like too turmericy or too spicy or too many seeds. And I was like, well, what did you do? He said, well, I just did that. So, well, he's got big hands. Anyway, so I told him, and he's like, Mom, will you make dinner for me? And I'm like, okay, honey, I'm done cooking for you, go fish. So I had to teach him how to actually cook and had to what he was missing is the actual flavor profile and how to make sure you have the right amount of spices, and how the profile comes together, because and it's a lot of layering process. So I put together spice kits for him. It's like a meal kit but without the fresh ingredients, and just taking the complexity out of Indian cooking. So I started putting kits like this. So with this kit, then he can make like 2 pounds of potatoes, right? Like curried potatoes. And I named it. So Flavor Blend 1. It has all the seeds in it. So exactly measured out. So, you have to toast these. And then after that, this is a combination of uh, coriander powder and turmeric powder. And then gave him cayenne. Cayenne is the one which has a heat. So most Indian food is, it's got a reputation of being spicy, but the spice actually comes from this guy, the cayenne. Everything else has flavor. And so I gave him my mom's recipes and gave these sort of bags, and gave him and asked him to cook it, and he started cooking it. And he would use this and he would put it over potatoes, he would put it over cauliflower or beetroot or anything like that. And on top of everything, then he would add cheese to everything because he's a Packer fan and he was, he's a cheese head. So anyway, so that was how it started off, and slowly along the way, we started making these for customers, and we have many other flavors like butter chicken and tikka masala. All the spices which go into it come together for that. And then we also started making these sauces. So these are more, I call, fast scratch or speed scratch. So this is like cook from scratch, but this is speed scratch. So we pre-make the sauce with all the spices in it. All you have to do is now then add veggies to it, or chickpeas, or you can add chicken, and you can make various other dishes. So we have like 4 flavors of this sauce. So that's what we do, making it easy for people to cook Indian food from scratch and learn about our culture along the way. And in the bargain, we also started making larger kits for schools. And so a lot of school districts are using our products, and they're making, like Sun Prairie Public Schools, they make different kind of dishes. They make a beef vindaloo with the spice kits or with the sauce, and then they make a chana masala. So the kids in today's school are, they're eating Indian food along with other chicken nuggets and things that they typically have. So that's where we are at now. So these are some of the recipe cards, and each recipe card will contain the spices in it, like I showed you earlier. So this for chicken tikka masala, and then you will see, what else you need to buy, like how much of chicken you need, and some ginger and some garlic, lime juice, and things like that. So you get that information, and then once you open it up, you will get the actual recipe, how to make the sauce, how to cook the chicken, and then add it up. So like that, we have a beef vindaloo, which is also, this uses beef, and this is actually made in quite a few public schools. Sun Prairie makes it, Holman Public Schools make it. The kids just love it. They just wait, and they get fresh beef from their local farmers, and then they actually use these, the spice kits, the larger sizes for that. And then we have two more chicken, but then we have a lot of vegan and vegetarian dishes like chana masala and cauliflower, curried potatoes, and things like that. So we have a lot of those. And these are the sauces. Today we'll be demonstrating a veggie korma, but this one is a butter chicken sauce. This is to make chana masala. You can make either chana masala, or you can make multiple dishes using this QR code, which takes you to my website with the spices, with the recipes. And then you have a chicken tikka masala sauce, and the recipe comes here. So this is like a 5-step process. If you use the spice kit, it's like maybe 7 or 8 steps to make that. So
Wow. They're so easy, and wow, what an improvement to school lunches.
I know, I know.
It's amazing.
It's been my dream. My dad's dream was to take my mom's cooking, to the world.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, only to southern India. He was going to put a food cart together, have her cook every in the morning, and he would go to the food cart. And his retirement dream. He was a combat pilot in the Indian Air Force, and that was his dream. Well, he passed away, unfortunately, but my mom now, her recipes are now being used in school districts across the country. So that's what I told her. I said, in a way, dad's dream is coming true, because,
Yeah.
your cooking is now, or your recipes are now being enjoyed by a lot of students, even in the United States. So today, what we are making is, I'm making this from scratch. I'm going to make rice initially. This is a basmati. Usually you use basmati rice, but today I did not have basmati at home. So this is just plain jasmine rice. So we're going to make this along with the spices. So I did tell you that there's a spice box in every Indian kitchen. I have two spice boxes. So one with the powders and things which I use day to day, and then the other with some of the whole spices. So this contains things like, whole cumin, cardamom, and this is black cardamom. So this is very, very. It's got a musky kind of thing. If you want to smell that,
Oh
it's got.
wow, that
It's
smells
very. So you just need
amazing.
just one of this for
Yeah.
2 cups of rice, and then we have clove, bay leaf, black pepper, and cinnamon. So these are some of the spices I used for making rice or any other what I call North Indian dishes. Now, talking about India, every state has got its own cuisine, its own culture, its own dance form, art form, and things like that. So it makes it really interesting for us. We can pick and choose what we want, because when I grew up, we sort of traveled around the country a lot, since my dad was based in Air Force stations in the north. I'm from the south, so South Indian cooking and North Indian cooking, there's a lot of difference. And so we get to pick the ones that we really like. And so that's why we have so many of these spices. The hearty spices go in North India because it's colder out there. So they have some of these heartwarming spices.
They
So
smell so good.
so we'll be
Wow.
using this for making the rice. Then I'm going to make a veggie korma. So using this bottle, This is a pre-made sauce, so basically add steamed veggies to the sauce and then add some salt. And then we'll also be um, uh, add to the sauce. I will also add a little sauce of coconut milk and cashews. So cashews which have been already pre-soaked, and so that will be ground along with some coconut milk, and then it'll be added to the sauce to give it a little bit of creaminess. So it stays vegan that way. And then you can add your salt and then add the steamed veggies to it. And we'll be using this spice kit to make what I call curried potatoes. So it's basically spiced up savory potatoes, but that will be baked and roasted in the oven. So those are the three things we'll be making. Okay.
Yum.
So let's start with making the rice. So I'm using an instant pot out here. I already preheated the instant pot. But what I'm going to do first is I have to wash the rice. And there are a lot of questions about how do you wash rice. So I'll show you how I wash the rice. That's what every Indian does. But you could do it, you could put it in a sieve or a strainer or things also and wash it. And so for that, you need oil. I'm using avocado oil, but you can use any canola oil or anything like that. We just switched to avocado just because of health reasons. And then some of the spices from here, I'll be using cinnamon and cumin seeds. I will use a couple of cloves and a couple of green cardamom and black cardamom, bay leaf too. So just saute that, add the rice, washed rice to it, add some salt, and then water, and then the cooker does the magic. So let's see how I wash the rice. For washing the rice, what I typically do is I'm just putting some water in it, and then I try to remove the starch. So the best way to remove the starch is get the, you know, sort of squeeze the rice in it and mix it up. And you can see the water has become starchy. You can see it's sort of whitish. So, and then I pour that out. So I do this like 2 or 3 times to take out as much of the starch as possible. Um, Typically, you don't have to have the water completely clear. That's going to be really hard to do. That'll take a lot of times you wash it. But, but this way, I just wash it just like 3, 4 times, and then you can see the water's not as cloudy as you do it more and more. It's getting a little clearer. So here I have 2 cups of rice. So for this recipe, especially when you're making like fried rice or pulao rice or something like that, uh, your proportion of water to rice is 1:1.5. So if I have 2 cups of rice, it's going to be 3 cups of water. Is what I would be adding. So if it's 1 cup of rice, it's 1.5 cups of water. There you go. So I've just sort of sauteed it a little bit. Sorry, strained it out a little bit. So that's it. The rice is washed. And now what we are going to do is on the instant pot, I'm going to be first adding oil. Like you guys never measure, I think, when you're baking. I don't measure when I'm cooking. So I just sort of add the oil, and as the oil gets heated, so now comes the toasting of the seeds, right? So in Indian cooking is like flavor building, and so you're supposed to toast the seeds, and then after that you add your protein or your rice or something like that. Like the herbs, whole spices get toasted, and powdered spices would get added midway through, and at the very end you would add a garam masala for some, because that's already a pre-toasted, pre-cooked spice, so that gets added at the very end. You do not have to like toast it again. So raw spices, you will be toasting it, so you can, so it sort of blooms and the flavors can come out. I'm going to add the cumin seeds first. And again, when you toast it, you put the hardy spices first and then put the other spices later. So when you see, you can see like The oil is hot, so that's the best way to test the oil, is just put a few of them in, and then you can see that it's actually, I call them dancing seeds, but it's sort of sputtering and coming up. So you have that. You can see the seeds are getting, you know, sort of frothing up in the oil. Um, since this is, I'm going to put a little bit more of the seeds because it's got 2 cups of rice for that. Okay. Now, as that is cooking, then I'm going to put the rest of the spices. And they sometimes may burst, like, so this is green cardamom. I don't break it open. So the one thing is, when you see this in the rice after it is cooked, they'll still be there. Don't eat it. So it's for flavor. You're not supposed to eat it as it. So I'm just putting like 2 or 3 pods of the green cardamom. And as that's cooking, and then I add the black cardamom and then the cinnamon stick. Just going to add maybe one of this cinnamon stick. I don't like the pointed stuff coming out. There you go. Upload this, and can you smell it?
Oh, it smells so good. Smells like
So cooking is about not just cooking, it's like, smelling it along the way and really like stop and smell the flavors kind of
yeah,
thing, the roses.
yeah.
Um, and then you have cloves, couple of cloves, and then black pepper. So all these are sort of hardy spices. So they should cook a bit. You notice I have not added bay leaf yet because bay leaf is a soft spice, and so you don't want that burning up quickly. Um, so once
So when
these,
you say hardy, do you mean just their seeds, so they take longer to cook, kind of a
yeah,
thing?
the cumin seeds are not considered hardy, but then just because they have to bloom,
Yeah.
that is why they get added first. Others, when I'm making the garam masala, the cumin seeds usually go at the end.
Mhm.
The rest of the spices, like cinnamon, cinnamon bark, these are hardy, right?
Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
bay leaf could burn very quickly,
Yeah.
and the black cardamom also is pretty hardy. So these as equip, and then I'm adding the bay leaf. So just add maybe half a bay leaf. And the moment that is added, it's just going to cook in that oil right away. And now I'm going to add the rice. So when you add the rice, just make sure water doesn't come along with that. And we add salt to this. A lot of people, salt is a spice. And people sometimes think, oh, no salt, got to reduce salt, especially some of the schools. They are like, USDA is coming really down hard on them about reducing the sodium level in
Mm.
school lunches.
Mhm.
Um, but you should add just enough because salt actually helps pop the flavors. If you don't have salt, the flavors will not. Um, you cannot really smell them, or you cannot really enjoy them. So um, just add enough, but not too much. But most of the pre-cooked or pre-cooked sauces and things that come in the market come with a lot of sodium in it.
Yeah.
And so this way, the schools can determine how much they need to add. So they are not. I'm not giving them any salt. None of my products have got any salt in it. So now that I have put that in, I just sort of let it cook a bit in the same heat.
It smells so good.
Yeah,
It
already.
really
And as it
does.
is cooking, it'll
Yeah.
smell so much better too.
Wow.
So now that I have added the water, mix it all up just to make sure everything is even. Um, Now I add salt. I typically do 1 teaspoon of salt for every cup of rice. Mix it all up and then start. You can do this in a rice cooker. You can do it in, on the stove top if you like. You don't need a cooker. I just every Indian house has got like 5 cookers. So we use pressure cookers a lot. We because um, a lot of Indians, I'm not saying most of them, but almost 70% of the Indian population are vegetarians. And so, where do they get their protein from? That's the first question, right? Where do you get your proteins from? That comes from lentils. So, we cook a lot of lentils, cook a lot of beans,
Yeah.
and so that needs pressure cooking. So, of course, we do that. So, I have started this, and I'm going to put this on rice. Sorry, rice. Okay. So, I started off with the rice, and that's all what we do. So for the potatoes, I've already chopped 2 pounds. So this particular spice kit needs 2 pounds of potatoes. So I've already pre-chopped it. I like it to do it with the skin because there is some vitamins I think which goes into your thing. My daughter hates it with the skin, but it really comes out well with the skin too.
Yeah.
So do that with the skin and just keep on. And I'm going to, and you will notice that I've chopped it and it's in water. The reason it is in water is if you just chop potatoes, the air when it reacts with the cut potatoes, it will darken the potatoes. So this way it stays. You can keep it like this for a few hours and it won't blacken. So either you could make it on a skillet, where then you will be using these spices one at a time. Based on the recipe, and then first the seeds and then the powders and everything will go in, and then you'll cook it on a skillet. Either you could do it that way, or you can do it the easy way, which is what I have taught the schools to do, because it is much faster for them. You can, not every school has got a stove top. In fact, they don't have stove tops, quite a few of them. They have ovens. So this is more an oven baked recipe. For that, it's very simple. You're just going to marinate the potatoes with all the spices together, and the seeds will toast automatically once it is in the oven, and because there's oil along with it too. So that's why we'll first add some oil.
I can imagine scaling it up to a school district size too. You have to.
Yeah, they make like 30 pounds at a time. So we
Wow.
have packets which are like big, which all the spices are, there's more spices in that. I'll show you that in a minute. But so here, so I just added oil, and then I add all the spices that come in it. I added to that. The nice thing is you don't have to just stick to potatoes. You can make it with cauliflower. You can make it with broccoli. One school district has tried. You can make it with sweet potatoes.
Oh,
It's
yum.
really good. Yesterday, in fact, I made sweet potatoes, and Sarah is going to get a taste of that.
Oh boy. Lucky me.
And I made with cauliflower too. It so happens Sunday is usually my cooking day. I
Yeah.
cook like 5 or 6 dishes, and then we sort of use it along the week.
Yeah.
And so Sarah's lucky; she came in on a
I
Monday,
am
and so
lucky. I wish I was that organized to do all my cooking on Sunday.
so I put all the the seeds in. Now, if you do this on a skillet, you would heat the oil the same way like I did for the rice, and you would add the seeds, and then they would all sputter and bloom. But since we are not doing it that way, we're doing it the easy way. Now and each of these spices is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're doing it on a skillet, you know what goes in first, what goes in next, and then I add the cayenne.
Were the first the seeds you added was cumin and black pepper?
No, black mustard.
Black mustard. Okay.
Black mustard. Okay.
The turmeric is such a beautiful color too.
Yes, so that's actually a combination of turmeric and coriander powder.
Okay.
Coriander seeds are considered, very ancient, almost 5,000 years ago.
Wow.
So, but it's basically cilantro seeds.
Yeah.
This is coriander, and then I'm going to add some salt to it. So this is like 2 pounds. So I will most likely put around 2 teaspoons of salt again. I don't measure salt usually, but basically I just put on my hand and
Yeah.
that's it. Okay. So now you have everything. You just sort of mix it all together with a whisk. So just mix it up and then toss the veggies in and cover everything up nicely. So here are the veggies. and then just toss them. Like if you think you're done tossing, toss it some more.
Keep going.
It's like just a couple more minutes. Oh, yeah, just do it a couple more minutes and it'll be fine.
Make
So
sure
now
they're
you
all
can see
coated.
all the potatoes are covered with oil. So the oil reacts with the turmeric to cook the turmeric. So you need the oil. Now, a lot of people eat turmeric supplements.
Yeah.
Turmeric is very, very popular that way for anti-inflammation. But you got to be careful how much you take. You shouldn't take too much. In fact, there was a recent episode of The Pit because I watched The Pit. There was this woman who was all yellow and she was taking too much of turmeric.
Oh no.
That's why she had a lot of views. So that was one of the patients who had come. Um, but in cooking, um, when you cook it with turmeric, the best way for turmeric to absorb in the body is if it is mixed with some fat, right? Because it has to attach to a fat molecule for it to get absorbed by the body. So the capsules may work, but not to the extent like when you're actually cooking with it.
Okay.
And so you get the flavor and then you get the taste of it, plus it's a health benefit too. So now I have tossed this up enough. I'm going to put this on a sheet pan. So I always layer my. This is something I learned from a school chef. Anytime you cook anything, parchment paper.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
learned
have
that
to wash your sheet pan so
too.
much after that, right? So I'm just going to do that and then spread it, and then just spread it in one layer. So you can imagine schools, right? So they are doing like 30 pounds at a time. They have these huge bowls and they put all the
Huge.
spices. Then all they have to do is make multiple sheet pans and stick it in the oven and it's done. So it's much faster for them. And the oil will, you can see the oil here, but actually it will all get absorbed and will all get cooked. So I'm going to put this at 400 for about 30 minutes and then take it out and sort of mix it around and then roast and see how that comes out. Okay. Okay, so now we have done the rice and we have got the potatoes in, and so let's do the vegetable korma. So here I have chopped some veggies. It has green beans, cauliflower, carrots, peas, also potatoes. Okay, potatoes and peas. I added a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon of salt to this, and I'm just going to steam it in the microwave. Um, and then I have some tofu which I have chopped and kept ready, which I will also add to the korma at the end. So this will go into the microwave for maybe around 10 minutes. So as that is cooking, as that is steaming, I'm going to make for the sauce. I told you we're going to be adding some cashews and coconut milk. Okay. So this is the cashews. I've just already soaked it for a while. And then the coconut milk will just open up the tin and bring it in. If you don't have coconut milk, that's fine. You can, if you don't have cashews, don't have, you can just do cashews alone. If you don't have cashews, that's also fine. It depends on, you could put even heavy cream on it. So this way it just becomes like more like vegan, but others you can use heavy cream. And I'm just going to add 3 teaspoons of.
Oh, and there's your protein and healthy fats.
Yep.
Right there. Oh.
Right there. So that comes right up. So you can see it's all ground up. I'm going to be making the veggie korma. So that's going to be made with this pre-made sauce. So there are two ways to, so this is speed scratch, right? If you were to cook this from scratch, you would add a bunch of spices, onions, tomatoes, ginger, garlic, and a bunch of spices that come in the pack that, I would have given you a pack like that, like for butter chicken or any of those. You would add all those and then cook it, and then add salt, and then that would be your sauce. But we actually manufacture these for people who are really busy, like families who are really busy. This is like literally within 20 minutes you can make a dish at home, and you can serve dinner that night. So if it's for busy families, this sauce, for the butter chicken or the tikka masala or the chana masala or veggie kurma, this is really ideal for that. So I'm just going to add, so what this needs is a sauce. And then with the sauce, I'm going to cook it a little bit with, this is coconut milk and cashews, which I just ground. And then add some salt to it, just mix it all together. Then add steamed veggies. So these are steamed with a little bit of salt. At the end, I will add tofu.
Brilliant.
Speed scratch is actually a word.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
The school
okay.
districts use speed, say speed scratch or fast scratch. That is it. So I'm just going to pour a little water into this to get some all the sauce out. So this is 8 ounces of sauce. And this is made actually in Wisconsin. So you're buying local if you buy this sauce.
Where does it get made? Where's it? Where do you make it?
This particular sauce for the retail, we make it in Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
And food service, we have half-gallon sizes, and those are actually made in California
Oh,
because a lot of our customers are in California. So here is the sauce. I'm just heating it up a bit. And as it cooks, you don't have to cook it, you're just heating it up so it'll mix better with the rest of the ingredients. So here is the coconut milk, and you'll mix it up, and so it cooks very well.
and Sarah, you were saying that you work with the Seattle Public Schools now too, and Chicago.
Yep, Chicago
Wow.
Public Schools, they are making, using the spice kits actually. They're going to be making butter chicken, and Chicago Public Schools, sorry, and Seattle also no, they made chicken tikka masala with the spice kits. And then
Wow.
we have LA Public Schools, they used the aloo curry, they made the curried potatoes. So first let me add the salt and then I'll add the veggies. You can see it's getting cooking out here. Maybe about a teaspoon or a bit more. This is salt to taste basically. You can actually smell the coconut,
Yeah, you
the coconut
can.
milk, right?
It smells so good.
Then I'm adding the rest, the veggies, the steamed veggies. Now I will just simmer it and let the veggies cook in the sauce. To this, I'm going to add some tofu so you get some protein in it as well. You could add paneer, you could add tofu, there's some chopped tofu.
For people who aren't familiar with paneer, can you share what that
What's
is
that?
too? For people who aren't familiar with paneer,
Yeah.
can you share what that is too?
So paneer is, let me take out a paneer and show you. So paneer is actually, it's, how do I call it? So we curdle the milk. You know what curdling the milk is
Mm-hmm.
breaking the milk. So you take milk, you boil the milk, and when it's really hot, you add some lemon juice to it, and it sort of will break. So you get the whey on top, and then the water. Watery. I think I'm not using the right words, maybe, but um, so you just strain out the cream of the whey, and then you put it in a muslin cloth overnight and let all the water soak out, and then after that you make like a cube it, like, flatten it and then
It's sort
cube
of
it.
like a soft cheese.
It's like a soft cheese. Yeah, I'll show you. Now you get paneer in the Indian store. um, okay, so the vegetable kurma, let it cook out here. I cook covered quite a bit, so I'm just going to cover it and let it just simmer and cook for a few minutes. So keep it for around 25 minutes at 400.
Oh, they smell really good.
Yeah, so the best way to test is they got to be really tender. So, I just go like that with the spatula, and it's as long as it breaks, so I can make. So now I'm going to roast it a little. So it's cooked because I can see that it's softened up. You can see that it's cooked. Um, Now, going back to salt, salt is what actually even helps the vegetables to cook. Without enough salt, you will notice that the veggies are not cooking as fast. Yeah. My way of testing is to make sure that I can cut it with a spatula, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, veggies you can even eat raw if you want to, but this way the sauce gets absorbed with the veggies.
Well, so Sarah, while we're waiting for everything to finish,
Mhm.
where can people buy your products, and how can people support you?
Yeah, the people can buy if they want to make it at home. They can buy all of these products on my website, flavortemptations.com. Temptations with an S. So flavortemptations.com is where you can go and buy. You can see all these products out there. We have free shipping if your order is over $25. So that's where you can go and try it out. And there'll be some recipes too. We not only have products out there, we have a bunch of recipes.
Yeah.
And it also tells you we have vegetarian recipes, vegan recipes. They're all listed out, meat-based recipes, and it'll also tell you which product goes with which recipe. So that way, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
And you'll have pictures of the recipes and things like that.
Yeah.
So we try to make it as friendly as possible for users,
Yeah.
for the customers who can try it out. And the sauce, just so you know, there's all the sauces are shelf stable. Up to 2 years, there will be a expiration date on the bottle, but they are shelf stable, so you don't. But once you open it, if say you don't use all 8 ounces, because that makes so much, right? So around 2 pounds of veggies and things. If you don't want to make all of that, you can make it with half of it,
Yeah.
and then after that, store the rest in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks, and then you can still use that.
Yeah.
And so as long as you don't, that's a tip for spices is once you open a big jar of spice, then it doesn't last for so long. It's like maybe 6 months, 8 months, and then spices don't get bad. I mean, it's not going to be bad to consume it, but the flavor starts reducing,
Changing. Yeah.
changing of that. But here, what we do is since they're all packaged in, sealed packs like this, so you're not opening them. Again, and then storing them like that. Another tip for storing spices, if you want to keep spices for a longer time, like you have large bags of spices, you want to keep them, put them in the refrigerator. So this is a good consistency to have. You have a little bit of sauce, a little bit of everything. So let's check out the rice. The rice is done, I think. Yeah, so the button goes down. So we have the rice. You'll see the spices have sort of risen to the top. They float up a bit, but then you sort of mix it up. So pulao rice should be like when you make with basmati, it's it comes out much better. But with the jasmine rice too, you'll see the rice grains sort of are separated. They're not like mushy.
Yeah.
So that is how it should be made, pulao rice. Now, to this, I just made it with just the spices, the whole spices. You can add veggies to it. You can just throw some cut carrots and peas into it, so it becomes a vegetable pulao that way. Or you can add some turmeric. You can sort of, or you can make a biryani. A biryani is like you add a bunch of veggies. You cook the veggies in a bunch of spices, and then you add those veggies to the rice as it is cooking.
Yum.
And so then you get a vegetable biryani. So I make tomato rice with it. So I just make the rice, plain rice. Then I chop a bunch of tomatoes. I add spices to it and cook it with the spices. So the oil separates and the juices separate, right? And once that is like a thick paste, then I add the rice to it, and of course salt and that. Add the rice to it and mix it all up together, so you have this nice orange tomato rice. And that you can just eat as such. You can have it with some dal if you like, some lentils.
Yeah.
I can show you some lentils that I use. You want to see them?
Sure.
Okay. So this is called red lentil or masoor dal. So I make sauces with that. So we just cook it, pressure cook it, and then sort of blend it and add it to some turmeric and some spices, and make it's called sambar. It's very, very famous in southern India. This is moong dal. So moong dal you get in This is split moong dal, not split like
Split peas.
unshelled moong dal, because you have unshelled moong dal, which I don't think I have it here. I don't have the unshelled moong dal, but then you have, this is called urud dal. This is split urud dal. This is used for, again, you can make, you can actually soak these. I put all of them together, soak them, grind them, and then make dosas out of it.
Yum.
So you can make like pancakes or things like that out of it. Whole. So this is a split shelled one. This is what the whole one looks like. So it's got, this is with the shell. So this has got, the shell has got some skin rather, not shell. So the skin has got some protein in it. And then the same thing is sold like this, unskinned, and then so using the same principle as the potatoes, I made okra yesterday.
Oh, yum.
So
I
this
love
okra
okra.
was made the same way, and your okras are the best, the ones that you get from your
That we grow.
your garden.
Yeah,
They're the best.
they are so good.
I've had okras and okras and okras, but those are the best, right? So
Well, let us know when you're ready for some in the summer.
yes, I will. I will buy some. I will be buying some. And then I made sweet potatoes with the same thing.
Oh, yum.
So you just do the same thing, but make sweet potatoes along with that. And but on the skillet, using the same spices, I made cauliflower and carrots combination.
Oh,
so that's made using the skillet, the sweet potato.
So many possibilities.
So many possibilities, exactly. So now, do you want to plate it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Now that didn't take long, just under an hour.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, very fast. Plus, we were chatting. I bet if I wasn't here, it'd be even faster.
Let's have the rice. Like I said, when you see any of the big spices coming up, just put those aside. Like here, there's a bay leaf. It's primary for flavor.
Yeah.
And then the potatoes. So this is how we typically eat. We'll have like 2 of these veggies, and then and we could even have a dal, like a lentil. That also we can have. There you go. So Sarah, for you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for inviting us into your kitchen. And you all, don't be shy about trying all of the things that Flavor
Yeah, don't be
Temptations
shy.
has
You
to
can never go
offer.
wrong.
You
can't
can
go wrong.
never. I have not tasted anything that I
And
haven't loved. So
yeah, and remember, you get bragging rights
yes,
when you make it for your family. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and thanks everybody at home for tuning in. And I cannot wait to have lunch with Sarah right now.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for having me on.
We'll see
Appreciate
you
it.
all next time.